Disturbing and harrowing case here in Scotland, the case of Amber Gibson, who was a resident at a children's home in the Lanarkshire area on the outskirts of Glasgow at the time of her death. Her brother, a resident of a homeless unit in the same town in Hamilton in 2021, a man called Connor Gibson. Now we know that on one evening in November of that year, Connor Gibson lured his sister to a secluded park in that town where he removed her clothes and he inflicted blunt force trauma on her. He attempted, or he did, sexually assault her with the intent of raping her, and then he murdered her by strangling her. This is one of the most harrowing cases that these courts have seen here in Scotland in a long while. Blood-stained clothes with Amber's DNA were found in the hours and the days after that very callous killing at the hands of her brother back in 2021. And at that stage as well, Connor Gibson took to Facebook, took to social media with what was a chilling update, a social media update at that time. He said, "You will fly high for the rest of time. We will miss you all, especially me." Clearly at that stage, he knew that he had killed his sister. He had sexually assaulted his sister. Now, the foster parents of both Amber and Connor Gibson had given evidence here at the High Court in Glasgow during what was a long murder trial, and there was a telling moment where both of those foster parents said that both Amber and Connor were, quotes, not a good mix. There was also evidence during the course of this trial of a Snapchat exchange from Connor Gibson in those frantic moments after he took his sister's life. He said in a Snapchat group to 5 others, "I'm really going to need you guys help with something when yous come back," he said. "I'm being serious." He then followed up a short while later by saying, "Never mind, it's all good." Throughout the course of this trial, Connor Gibson showed absolutely no emotion. The same today when the jury returned those guilty verdicts, and the police have also been reacting.
I welcome the verdict today. It's the correct verdict. It won't bring Amber back, but hopefully it will bring some comfort to our family and our friends. The overall circumstances were, to a degree, traumatic for those involved, including investigating officers. However, I have to pay tribute to their professionalism, their commitment, their dedication.
This is so tragic in very many ways because Amber Gibson was not only murdered by her brother, but none of her friends, none of her family were here in court throughout this trial and saw justice being delivered today. Her foster parents, though, those two people, that couple who brought her in and cared for her during many years of her life, have issued a statement in the last few minutes. I'll read some of it to you. They say, when they arrived at her home, Amber was 3, Connor aged 5. Connor stated, "We are safe." They were, until he took her safety away. Amber deserved to live a life of hope and opportunities. As a family, we will never be able to get over how this was taken from her. They describe Amber as the most caring, giving, loving, supportive and admirable person who had a love of art and singing. They say she was the most amazing outlook on life, considering the suffering that she had experienced. We really miss Amber. They say life will never be the same. Murder trial, a man who discovered Amber's body, and instead of calling emergency services, he proceeded to touch her inappropriately. Her naked remains touched her inappropriately and then dragged and covered her with bushes and branches. He was also found guilty today, and they will be sentenced in September for these heinous crimes.